pretty exciting. I was pretty stoked because a lot of people in the outside world don't really know what esports is or what we do. And so this is a good opportunity for CSGO and ELeague, TBS itself to just show what kind of potential esports has, how intense and how competitive it can be.
It's like a real NBA kind of thing. Welcome to the show. Let's do it, 2K. The first day we went for media, we got a tour of the studio. We got to check out inside the NBA, which I'm a really big fan of because I used to play basketball all the time.
We're terrible. We're a bunch of Counter-Strike players. It's pretty cool to see where they do TV shows from on TBS. Walking around the whole studio is pretty trippy because you're in all these vacant hallways and then you walk into a massive room with all sorts of hundreds of thousands of dollars of video equipment and stuff, so it's pretty trippy. Yeah, and then we got to hang in the practice room and the staff there was really cool. We got catered food. We were able to kind of sit there around the clock. We actually had an ECS match that we played from, I think we played COG and I think we won 2-1 from the practice room there. So that was cool, and it was nice that they were able to accommodate us while we were there.
Made us do photos for our profile pictures for in-game.
Okay. Yes!
Yes!
There you go.
One more. Yes! Come on, 1, 2, 3.
Yes!
Yes!
And then we went to the parking lot to walk around and run and just kind of have like a silly little intro added into it.
That's every girl's dream, is just 5 gamers. So going into ELeague in Atlanta is an exciting tournament, or league rather. It's the first time CSGO has been on TV since Counter-Strike Source back in the day was on DirecTV and CGS. And more so than just it being on TV was the fact that they're bringing the actual structure of CS to TV. There's still 16 rounds. You know, in the past when they put CS on the TV, they shortened the production and took out pistol rounds and stuff. So they kept our format pretty true to itself. They decided to do 4-team groups. I think there's 6 groups of 4. So we were part of the first week. We flew in Monday. Tuesday we had to play Liquid. Then Wednesday was Renegades and Luminosity.
Which was like a first close game. Second game was, 16-3 for us.
Cloud9 on Cash. Who would have thought that they would be this powerful on it? ELeague, not a chance going to be the 28th kill here coming through for Stewie, and he's looking for 29. A single headshot is going to be at 16-2 as Cloud9 take out Liquid on.
We did pretty well. And then on cash, we won 16-2 or 16-3.
And we 2-0'd them. Good way to start. And then the next day we played 4 matches. We played Renegades and LG to finish off the groups.
So the way they set it up was that it's a group that you play round robin first to determine your seeding. So there's 4 teams, right? Us, Renegade, Liquid, Luminosity. So we all play each other on 2 maps, and the teams with the best 2 records play each other for a playoff spot at the end of the week.
So going into day 3 was a really interesting matchup because at this point, us and Renegades are both 2-2. Technically, we had more rounds than Renegades did because when they played LG, the round differ, they lost a lot more than we did. So technically, all we had to do was get a certain amount of rounds and win map 1.
Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be with Renegades and Cloud9 on train.
Do you just run all across the map and just try and get as far as you can before you actually plant that bomb? Because if you run into young Stu, he's going to ruin your day. He's already picked up 1 kill, but it's a 1v3 now with a minute left on his clock. And another headshot from Stewie. He could get another one as well. He's still got 9 HP, and what is this? Estillo is down. Stewie's not going to get the clutch in the end. It was too much to ask, but still, what a performance from him.
Still Cloud9, how are they going to win this round? They're a man down, they don't have a lot of time, and they're going to be stuck on the bomb side. Well, Shroud hitting headshots could certainly be one answer, but he gets caught a little bit here. Now it's a one-on-one as they're coming up from behind. He's doing very well, but Skedoodle going to be there. He hits the shot, and it'll be Cloud9 taking it 16-7 on train.
Fantastic work from Cloud9 there to get the job done. Skedoodle will end the map at the top of the scoreboard, but with a clutch like that, the 1v2 at the end, makes all of the difference. Cloud9 picking up a win here versus Renegades.
But the first map, we obviously gave it our all, I guess, in the first map because we had to win the first map so we could get the 2nd seed in the group. And then the second map, we knew win or lose, since we already won the first map, we're going to get 2nd seed no matter what.
We didn't give up, but we played kind of more puggy style and not reveal our strats and kind of get a feel of how they play.
Just like we just tried out random things to see how it works, tried to figure out how they play, so that when we'd play them again in the playoffs, we'd be ready.
We knew the next day that they'd probably play us on Cobble. So we were prepared and we were ready to fight back.
But keep bringing the action as they go for the flash. Aggressive play, but they do manage to get the trade up. Doesn't look like there's going to be that 30 bomb for Stewie 2K. He's been snuffed.
Bit of a shame. Skedoodle, though, in a good position, picks up the 1, looking for more. Nothing there with the crossfire as well. Great setup right now. The bomb is down as well. As they're going to pick up a kill, but that will be the last of it. Skedoodle ending up with a double, and it will be a 16-11 finish as Cloud9 make it to finish off against Luminosity.
And we beat them clean, and it felt good. You know, the day before we played them, and we played them 1-1, and we felt like we could have probably beat them on that second map if our intensity was a little up. But no excuses necessarily, because they still played well. But I think the second day you can see we wanted it a little bit more and we played a little bit better, and we're able to close it out on them and bring it to the first ever televised TBS match where we played Luminosity.
How does it feel knowing that you get to play in front of an international audience on live television tomorrow?
Feels pretty good. It's definitely a boost up for esports because people don't really know too much about esports. So I think it's pretty cool.
Pretty much what he said, it's exciting times.
Nothing. What are you most excited about for tomorrow?
I guess just being able to like tweet my friends who don't know how to tune into my matches online and be like, hey, just turn on your TV, bro. TNT, TBS, let's go. 7 p.m. So it's pretty exciting to just, be able to say we're on TV and hopefully, reach some more people that we never reached before and put on a good show for the fans out there.
Big deal for Counter-Strike. It's the debut week. Can Cloud9 do it?
They can. Will they? I mean, that's the tough part is they're just going up against so much talent. We've seen Cloud9's really going to have to fire on all cylinders tomorrow if they want to have a chance because there's so much talent on that Luminosity team.
So it's going to take something special from the North American team to come through tonight and take down the Brazilians. But the countdown has begun, and we're going to be getting into the pistol round here. The first round on this map, low economy, just pistols, and it's all about the strats here.
Right now, picking up a double kill. There's Slemmy picking up one, spraying and connecting, and Burr finally with the flank coming through, but he goes down. Nothing to pick up the shot.
But we're still into a 2-on-2.
Look at the clock, 10 seconds now, 8 seconds left. They need to get that bomb down. Oh, he's gonna drop it.
To be honest, guys, I was pretty nervous beforehand. I was like, shit, we have to play the current team. It was feeling hot, #1 in the world. We're going to play him on TV, and I know a lot of my friends and family tuning in outside the CS community are going to go watch us play, and they're, whoa, Jordan's team just got crushed. But we went in with some confidence, and we ended up being able to take the first map away from LG. I was able to turn up a little that first map and get some good frags going.
Beating them on their map, beating any team on their choice is awesome, especially like a team like Luminosity, who, honestly, I can't even recall the last time they lost Mirage. So it was definitely an amazing feeling. Like we were so hyped. It was great. And then we went on to Kabul.
Picking up the second map. We are going to map 3.
We should have, I feel like we should have won. We blew a lot of these rounds, which caused us to lose the game. We were up at the very beginning like 6-2 and somehow ended the half 8-7, so we barely strung together rounds at the end after being up so much. So we kind of lost the map to ourselves almost. Tyler had a really good Kabul. It really sucks to let him down because he had like an insane amount of kills in the first 30 rounds. He had like 34 kills, which is wild to see, especially as like an opera on that map. It was wild. After we lost Kabul, which was our pick, It was on to Dust 2.
Back and nothing is out of the round as well. Stewie coming in, 1, 2, but he can't get a third one. Gets shut down by Taco, and now coming up from behind, it's going to be Skadoodle. Mid-air headshot. What an insane kill coming through, and now 2-on-2.
Cloud9, they're ready, they're waiting. They know that there's a kid somewhere around here, and they're just looking to battle at Luminosity. They go out onto B slope, but that gives Skadoodle all the opening he needs, and Shroud takes out Taco in the meantime. The perfect retake coming in for Cloud9, and that was a desperate situation. Luminosity, they overran the defense so quickly on the B site, but young Stu stepping up once again. 2 headshots for him to make the difference. And they're not booing, they're stewing.
And Dust 2, I feel like that was the one map we weren't as prepared as we could have been, but we were already doing so much on the other maps we focused so much on the other maps, like we barely had a time to get Dust 2 in. So that was kind of a scary game. I don't even know if I want to talk about it.
A little bit curious, maybe some miscommunication there on Luminosity's side. That bomb was dropped back in T-spawn, nobody there to carry it in, so Fur has to waste a little bit of time actually running back here. And well, I mean, it works out if Fallen's gonna hit a sick headshot like that on, what? The wallbang headshot on Skadoodle?
How can this be real?
All right, Fallen.
And third map, I guess that's when we started running out of gas, and Fallen hit some nice shots and turned the game around, and they just 14-1'd us. And at that point, our job was just try not to get 16-1.
Second and third map, Stewie and Tyler were able to turn up a bit, but unfortunately closed us out 2-1.
Shroud all on him, he's raised, no! It's gonna come to an end, Luminosity. They're gonna win it 69 here. They got the defuse and they take this game.
After what we felt like could have been a 2-0, but there's never could have been in that situation, if that makes sense. Like, you never win for sure versus a team like Luminosity until you get the final round. So those guys are fighting until the last second. And respect to them, of course, for that. And you know, still a cool experience for us to get on TV and play in front of the studio crowd and have all my friends text me from home while they're live watching. I was able to look at my phone after and had all these unread messages. It was really neat. Initially supposed to be in the last chance qualifier after losing to Luminosity Gaming in our initial group stage at ELeague. We lost to them 2-1. It's a good match. Took the first map from them and they beat us. So rightfully so, they had their spot in the top 8. Well, what happened was they actually had plans to switch organizations, but they didn't do it in a proper way. So the plans kind of coincided with the middle season of ELeague. So what ended up happening is the Brazilians, Luminosity, ended up joining SK. And when they joined SK, it actually broke their roster agreement that they had with ELeague, which basically says you have to compete under the same team name each season. So they had a chance to continue competing under Luminosity. They didn't want to do that. They wanted to join the new organization and start fresh. When that happened, they were unfortunately kicked out, which really sucks. They deserve that spot. It's not up to the players or anything, contrary to what you might have read online. It's just a rule by the league. Even the owners didn't really end up having a say. It was the league who decided they weren't allowed to play. So we took their slot. And we headed to Atlanta, and we were matched up versus Navi first in the top 8 of ELeague. We had about 5 days of knowing we were playing Navi. So once we learned we were playing Navi, the first initial thought is, you know, it's a team with heavy tactics, but they have so many, and they know that they vary them pretty well. Like, you have a team like Astralis that when you watch them, you can kind of say, like, okay, this is their set of strats on this map, and you can kind of find gaps easier. With Navi, they have a lot of set strats, but the gaps are much harder to find because of the small tweaks they make and how Guardian can literally randomly just do whatever he wants sometimes. So it's really hard to counter them. So what we did is we sold everyone individually to watch demos of them, of course, try to understand their defense, because defense is generally where you could find and hone in on individual player tendencies and really learn about those things they do and those little maybe timings they make plays on. So we all spent time doing that. But other than that, we basically just told ourselves, hey guys, this is a team that has more chemistry and more strategy than us, but we can outskill them. We've done it before, and we just got to show up, play confident.
That's gonna be snacks in a second. What's up? That's posture right there.
Put it in your vlog, you won't. Don't make me buy a vlog camera, because I will.
Going into it, we had a general idea of the vetoes. We knew their strong maps are, you know, train, overpass, cobble. So we liked those maps, so we were ready for them, and the veto ended up kind of going the way we wanted it.
Pretty good on the map itself, but we weren't prepared for it that day because we didn't expect them to play it. But that was their first pick, and I think we ended up having more rounds on the T side. It was a CT sided map. I don't remember the exact score, but I think it was like 9-6, 8-7 maybe.
We played pretty well, and we came back a bit on CT side, and we brought it to overtime.
They definitely talked in overtime, and they got some tactics together, and they won the first 3, no problem. So total score on that was 19-15. Kind of a bummer. Dust 2, kind of a wild map for us, honestly. We have a pretty good defense on that map. Our T sides are kind of iffy.
Going into Dust 2, we basically wanted to keep the game plan pretty simple, take advantage of our spawns. We know how Guardian kind of likes to play long A sometimes with Edward, so we were thinking if we ever know Guardian somewhere else, that means Edward's probably alone. There's a couple holes like that we found out. Kept it pretty simple. I think we actually lost Pistol, but we still got like 8 or 9 rounds, 8 I think, and pretty good half considering some of the rounds we lost. I remember us distinctively taking long A like a lot of rounds and just like failing on crossing the site. So honestly, like the way we played that half in terms of gun rounds versus them, aside from literally just like messing up cross smokes for A, that was like a double-digit half because we were doing all the big things right. We were taking long control, we were getting the early picks, we were getting number advantages. So we had confidence going to CT side in terms of, hey, we're out shooting these guys right now. Let's get this pistol. I think we ended up getting CT pistol, and then we only lost 2 rounds CT side, one of which was right when we had 14 rounds, and then we bought Deagles, and there's a clip of it online. You can see where I push long doors, and I like 1-deag Zeus, and I make a joke. I like look at him through the wall with my pistol. It's kind of funny. Then I grab an AK and go back, and then Shroud and Skadoodles get 1-deags, and then I AK the last guy. So that brought us to 15, and then we got the next round. That was good, and then we're going into Cobble, which is obviously a world-class map for them, but this time around we actually started CT side.
No chance for a follow-up here for Na'Vi.
It's kind of bittersweet for me because I started out really strong on CT side. I think I was like 17-2 at one point or something by like the 6th round. And we were winning 6-1. I distinctly remember this round. We're up 5-on-3, and I'm in the B-bomb site, and I hear a guy in the drop room. Well, I'm on the tree boost, so I thought he was in the close right corner when I heard the noise. So my thinking is I'm going to run off this ledge, and by the time he hears me land, I'm just going to pre-fire him and kill him. It'll be easy kill. Worst case is I die, and Stewie and Stroud are set up good. Well, what happened is I didn't really call that I was about to do that, so I kind of just made an impulsive play, like, all right, I'm going to peek this guy. And all I really probably need to say was, I'm about to fight drop. But the noise happened so fast, and I made the decision so fast that you can't always calm those things. In retrospect, I shouldn't have even made that decision because we're up numbers, and that's like a big protocol for Counter-Strike. When you're in a 5-on-3 on defense, you just don't make any plays unless you have, absolute info they're not near you. Ran in, died. The guy ended up being in the back room of the drops room in Kabul, killed me, and then Stewie tried to swing, and then the guy wasn't there, and then when he repeaked the upper B, there was 2 guys out on him, and they killed him, and then Shroud tried to peek, and then they killed him. And that kind of killed our momentum, because that was like a really easy round for us. And we had literally like won most of the easy rounds we should run, and the one A round that they potentially could have won where I was alone A Hall, I literally like triple killed him. So like, if we won that round, they were probably feeling like a little pressure and they were going to change up their play a little. So I think we would have probably got like 10, 11 rounds if we won that round. So even though I had a high scoreline in Kabul, I think I ended up dropping 30. I feel like that round was a big mistake that hurt our momentum.
And then when we were down like 14-10 or something, we just started doing really, really fast rounds. And we had Jordan calling. Slemmy's originally calling, but we had Jordan calling, and he just started calling everything fast. He's like, split here, flash, just keep rushing, and we won like 4 straight.
So we ended up losing a round that we really shouldn't have when they didn't have very good guns. They had FAMASes and like SMGs and stuff. So really crappy round to lose, and it brought us to 15-14, and then last round we tried like a B exec, and wasn't a terrible call, but they were definitely stacked there like we expected. We just didn't get out with the trade, and they closed it out 16-14, and that concluded our run at ELeague.
Super close, honestly. I felt like we could have even 2-0'd, and then when we missed the chance to 2-0 them, we could have even 2-1 them. That's how close the games were.
Definitely feel like we could put up a fight against a lot of these teams right now. Might not be consistent champs and where we want to be, but we definitely had a chance to get to top 8 either way. I'm glad we got to play against Navi and potentially beat them. I actually felt a little confident playing Fnatic after too, even though they're a tough team. I felt like with the right happenings, we probably could have beat Fnatic as well as Navi, but that's what competition is, you know, it's whoever shows up on that day, and I'm glad we got the chance in one form or another, and I look forward to competing in Season 2 of ELeague.
If he's going to invest a little bit of money, buy some Kevlar, just to give himself a little bit
Honestly,
more
I think Bruce, bro.
to work with here.
But I'm biased.
It annoy me a little bit because
I don't know if it really counts.
and Hits could have picked up a scout.
GQ, arms crossed, 3/4 turn, half turn, full, front. What's up, girl? How you doing? My name's Jordan.
My name's Jordan.